Hello, I am Beth and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing my top books of 2017. I have a whole bunch to go over here. I was going to make it top 7, but then when it came down to it, I'm like, I can't make it top 7 in 2017. It's just, there's too many, so I think it's top 11. It's just, that's a lot more than 7, and I just couldn't knock it down anymore. I had already squeezed out a lot of books. Couldn't make it any smaller. So these books are in no particular order except for the last two. They are my two favorite of the year, and they are tied for best of the year in my opinion. They are just great books, even though they didn't come out this year. These books could come out for a variety of any year. They didn't necessarily come out this year. It's just I read them this year. All of these books will be in the 4 to 5 star rating. I gave them either 5 or 4 stars. And yeah, some of them are cheating because they're series. But I read most of the series this year, or the entire series, and I loved it all, so I had to put it all in here. And since there's so many books to talk about, I'll just be giving a brief synopsis on all of them, just a little bit, nothing too in-depth, because there's so many of them. Well, to kick things off, I read The Kiss of Deception and The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson. I gave this one 5 stars and this one 4 stars. I really love this series, and I haven't finished it yet. I have the 3rd book, but I haven't read it. It's The Beauty of Darkness. I have full intentions of reading it next year. I just read these two too close to each other, and I need to give it a break so I don't completely just end up hating the 3rd book because I read it too close to these ones and forced myself to read it. So I'm just waiting for a time when I want to read it, and then I'll definitely be finishing that one. This is about a princess who on her wedding day runs away, and it's about 2 people that follow her. One of them is an assassin and one of them is a prince. And for this entire book you get from 4 perspectives. Princess, her best friend who runs away with her, and then the assassin and the prince. And you are trying to discover which is which. I guessed right. It was because I knew people said it was unexpected, so I picked the unexpected and I guessed right, and it's just, it was good. It was really good, and I really liked it. The next up is Spelled by Betsy Shakau, and I really like this. It's a Wizard of Oz retelling where there's a princess. She wishes on a cursed star and ends up messing up everything. It was really fun and lighthearted. I really love this book, and I gave it 4 stars. I am definitely going to be reading the next ones in the series she's coming out with. It was just a really great. Next up, I have The Search for Wandle series by Tony DiCerlizzi, same guy who writes Spiderwick series with Holly Black. I can never say his name right, but that is Search for Wandla, the 1st book. The 2nd book, The Hero for Wandla, and the 3rd book, The Battle for Wandla. I gave the 1st book 5 stars and the 2 after that 4 stars apiece. I really like this series. It is a sci-fi middle grade series. It's about a girl who grows up in a bunker learning about Earth, and she's supposed to come out of the bunker. The radiation dies down or whatever on the surface, or whenever it's safe to, because something bad happened to humanity. Well, she comes out of the bunker, and Earth is not the Earth she's been learning about. It's not our Earth. It's a different Earth, and she's starting to think, is it really Earth? And so it's about her searching for humans and life on this planet that was supposed to be Earth, but she doesn't know now if it actually is Earth, and there's aliens, and it's great, and I really love this series. It is. The next up is Newt's Emerald by Garth Nix. I gave this book 4 stars. It's historical fiction with a bit of magic weaved in. It is really great. It's about a girl named Truthful, Lady Truthful, and when she turns 18, she is supposed to inherit the family heirloom, which is an emerald. But I think it's her 17th birthday party, so he brings out the emerald to let her see it, because it's getting close to the time she's supposed to get it, but she can't have it yet. She's just allowed to see it for her birthday this year. And the emerald gets missing during her party. So it's about her tracking down the emerald, but no self-respecting lady this time would be out and about by herself, so she disguises herself as a guy, and I think you guys pretty much know what happens from there. It follows a bunch of cliches, but I really did love this. Next up is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I'm behind on reading this book because everybody read it ever, but I give this book 4 stars. You're saying a lot of these books are 4 stars. My 5 stars, yeah, but these books are 4 stars. And this book is just, it's great. It's so good. It's really hard to explain, actually. I find that this is one of those complicated worlds that once I get to know it, it's hard to explain, but I'm gonna try. It's about a girl who has powers and reflect light and call light and control it, and she's the only Grisha, which are people that have these powers. Like some of them have wind powers, some of them have water powers and fire powers and stuff like that, and healing powers. But she's the only person with this power to control light. And it's about her trying to control that and then discovering a lot of politics and stuff, and it's a really good series, and I did not do it justice. Next up is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I give this book 4 stars. I really did enjoy it. Either people really seem to like it or they seem to hate it. I really did like this book. In this world, there are people with blue blood and red blood, and only people with blue blood have powers. But it's about this girl who is a red blood and she has powers. And so the blue bloods discover this, but she used her powers in public, so they can't just say she's a red blood and kill her in secret. They have to come up with a lie and say that she's a blue blood, that's like she's the lost general's daughter, and so they gauge her to her son to have them get married, and they're going to use her and just take her into their family and keep the truth hidden from everybody that reds can have powers. And it's about a rebellion from there, and it's a really good. Next up is These Vicious Masks by Turin Schenkner and Kaylee Zaxes. I know actually that I butchered those names, but yeah, that's my best here. See, those are their names, so you can read them, but this is really fun. It's called X-Men Meets Jane Austen, and I thought that's pretty much exactly what it was. So it's a Victorian England, and it is, in the beginning of the book, her sister gets kidnapped, and it's about her hunting down her sister and discovering that she has magical powers, and that her sister was kidnapped because of her magical powers, and her sister's magical powers. And so it's about her learning about that and trying to find her sister. And it is good. Next up is Heartless by Melissa Meyer. I give this book 4.5 stars. It was almost a 5-star, but not quite, because I'm a sucker for a happy ending, and stuff happened in here that I wouldn't exactly call happy. So yeah, this is an Alice in Wonderland retelling about the Queen of Hearts before she's the Queen of Hearts. So it's not gonna be happy, but yeah. And so it just follows her before she's the Queen of Hearts, and I thought it was really good. And I'm not going to say much more than that because I went into just knowing that, and I think that was the best way to go into it. It's best to know as little as possible. Next up is The Tournament at Gorland by John Flanagan. This is the first book inside of the spin-off series, the Ranger Pintus series, and it's the Ranger Pintus earlier series, and it was a good book. It follows Holt before he trains Will, and everything like that starts happening. So this is whatever Mulgrath first gets kicked out of the kingdom before he comes back with the Wargoals. It was a really great book, and I really enjoyed it, and just anything John Flanagan writes, I will instantly buy and read and most likely love. I give this book 4 stars. I really, really loved it. Next up are my 4 5 stars. The last 2 are going to be the ones that are battling for first place. They're even with how great they are because I love them both so much. I can't pick one over the other, but yeah, all these other ones are not in any particular order. Next up is Bears and Nerves by Marissa Myers. I give this graphic novel, which is what it is, 5 stars. It is the graphic novel following Aiko. I don't exactly know how to say her name, but yeah, it follows her and it's great. Love anything to do with the Lunar Chronicles. I was just really happy to be back in the world, even though Aiko didn't quite act like herself. But the next up is Dark Disciples by Christina Golden. I gave this book 5 stars. I really loved it. If you've ever watched the Star Wars The Clone Wars, the TV series, it follows a character from there, Asajj Ventress, and she is my top favorite Star Wars character ever. Her and K2SO from Rogue One are my 2 top favorite Star Wars characters ever. I love them even more than Han Solo and Luke. It's even more than Darth Vader, which is saying a lot because Darth Vader is awesome. But yeah, I really like this book. It followed her, and so it gave me more information about her. I really enjoyed this book, and I learned more about Asajj Ventress, and I loved her more as a character after reading this story. The next up are the 2 battling for first place, and the first one is Empress of a Thousand Skies by Rhoda Godzilla, and I loved this book so much. I read it towards the end of the year, and I cannot wait for the sequel to come out next year and to be the final one. This is the end of this duology, which I know I'm going to be sad because I want it to go on forever and ever and ever already, and I've only read one of the books. So yeah, I love this. I absolutely adore this book. Bella's an empress, and she's been in hiding, sort of, because her family was killed when she was little, and so she's supposed to inherit this. And it follows her, and she supposedly gets murdered in the beginning of it. And it follows her and the guy who supposedly murdered her as he tries to prove his innocence. And she tries to figure out who tried to kill her and just stop them before they try again. And it was so good. I loved seeing from both perspectives. I very rarely like both perspectives inside the book. And this one I pretty much did, although I still did love hers more than his. But that's to be expected, always one over the other. It's like hardly ever both in the same amount. But yeah, I love this dual perspective more than in any other book. And the one that is battling it is Rebel of the Sands by Alwyn Hamilton. And I really love this book as much as the other one because they're dueling, obviously. But I adore this book so much, and I cannot wait to read the second one. And then next year when the third one comes out, finish it off. It's going to be so sad but wonderful. And I love this series so much, and I've only read the first book. I know these two are the first book in a series, and I love the series so much now because of these two books. It's just, it's so good. This is like a kind of Middle Eastern, I guess, fantasy. I really loved it, and I'm not going to tell you guys, I'm not going to tell you guys anything about this except for it's about girl Elena who's trying to get out of a town she's been stuck in, because I went to it not knowing anything at all, and because I think that's the way to go into it. Just go into it knowing nothing at all, and it will just blow you away. I really love this book so much, along with the Empress of a Thousand Skies. You guys need to read both these books. They are the best books. These are like on my favorite of all time list, let alone my 2017 list. This is this video. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and watching. Have a nice day, and please leave a comment down in the comment section telling me what your favorite books of 2017 were. Bye!